Well, today's show is about a topic a lot of NHL fans love: NHL goal horns. Yeah, we decided to have some fun. Which teams have the best and worst goal horns, the best and worst songs? And if the Nashville Predators did what the Buffalo Sabres did and give each player their own song, whose would each be? That's coming up today on the Locked On Predators podcast.
Your Locked On Predators, your daily podcast on the Nashville Predators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Predators your first listen of the day every single day. I'm Nick Morgan. I'm a writer and editor at ontheforecheck.com, and I have a partner in crime.
You do. I am Ann Kimmel. I'm a writer at ontheforecheck.com.
Well,
yeah,
Ann,
so this whole episode just is a result of a rabbit trail that I found myself on, and it was so fascinating. It just proves the point, Nick, that there is a community for everyone. You know, because apparently there is a whole goal horn group of aficionados out there, and you can go and listen
right
to
here.
Well, and this was a revelation. We've been working together so long, and it's like all of a sudden there's this whole nother dimension to Nick Morgan that I didn't know about.
Yeah. I love NHL goal horns. Back in like the mid 2000s, there's like a couple of sites that just put like MP3s of all the goal horns and songs and stuff like that. And you could like download them to your iPad or iPod. And yeah, you can just like be like in the backyard and cue like that at the right time and just like pretend you scored. And it was like the coolest thing. And it's crazy. There's these different sites like, famous goal horns, elite goal horns on YouTube that not only do like all the horns and songs, but they have like videos about like the history of each one. People are obsessed with this. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I will say I was a total, novice at this because I thought, well, hey, here's a video on all 32 goal horns. And I'm like, well, a goal horn is a goal horn is a goal horn. Friends,
you were wrong.
I am sitting here in my wrongness, being wrong. And the amount of time I've invested in becoming right, I don't regret a moment of it. I don't regret a moment of it. There are a variety of goal horns in the NHL, in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. Now, I will say this conversation today is purely subjective, but we are going to tell you who we think has the best and worst goal horn and the best and worst goal song. And, maybe some Predators want to pick their goal songs. And by Predators pick their goal songs, I mean Nick and I pick their goal songs.
No, you don't have to do anything, Matt Duchesne. We're going to pick one for you.
That's right. So, Nick, I'm going to jump right in with you. Give me your goal horn. Like, what is your goal horn ranking system? What's important to you when it comes to a good goal horn?
I think it's got to have a good mix of, it's got to have like the right tone.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's got to be like, sort of celebratory, that kind of thing. Like it's got to be like firm, like Montreal Canadiens, you and your little whistle can yeet yourselves off this rankings list. It's got to have the right song. Like it's got to have a song that maybe means something to the team, the community, maybe some bonus points for tradition in there. It's got to have like the perfect like post goal atmosphere. Like here's the thing. Like I'm just gonna get this out of the way now. The Predators are probably my favorite. So when we talk about our favorites from around the league, we'll probably exclude the Predators from that. But think about what the Predators do. It's like the very like deep, like rich sounding horn. Like it's like authentic. You hear it in the entire arena when they score. It flows right into the goal song that's been there since day one. Tim McGraw's I Like It, I Love It, with the special video of him in the way too tight t-shirt spinning the giant stuffed fish around at Bridgestone. and then gold on the ceiling, which is where the "Hey, you suck" chant. Like there's like it is like an entire production
It
after the
is.
Predators score, and I think that's what makes the Preds so special.
I agree. I think there is something when we talk about, in the NHL atmospheres, Nashville always is ranked high for game atmosphere. And I think so much has to do with the whole goal celebration. And I will say this, I took my parents to their first ever NHL game last season, and they were a little bit appalled at how many times we say suck. But really and truly, Nashville hits it out of the park. So we are going to set that aside, knowing that Nashville is, right at the top of the list when we talk about goal celebrations and goal horns. Now, I dove into this like a mad woman because it was so fascinating to me. And for me, the thing that really sets a goal horn above the rest is, like you said, I think tone is huge because there are a wide variety of tones, which I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And I think the pitch of it is important. I raised some teenage boys and they would often talk about pitch and tone, not in relation necessarily to goal horns, but to some bodily functions that may sound like goal horns. So pitch and tone is a kind of a framework I'm familiar with. So that's kind of where I came from as I listened and tried to pick some favorites of this.
So what's your favorite type of goal horn? Do you like the deep like do you like the boat horn like ooh? Do you like the high pitch? Like what do you go for?
You know what is so funny is it's hard for me to pick a favorite, but the thing that I love the most, because you can sit and listen to all 32 of them back to back, blows your mind. It's incredible. And the thing that got me are the teams that have like a water or like ocean animal vibe, have a goal horn that is so distinctly like a freighter, like, a shipping container, you know what I mean? Like a shipping ship that has a shipping ship that has the big containers on it. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Like a freighter.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? A freighter. Their horns are so distinctly that. And I'm like, you are brilliant people. Like Carolina Hurricanes, San Jose Sharks, the Seattle Kraken, they all have this shipping ocean sounding goal horn, and I am 100% here for this.
Well, you know why Carolina is the way they are, right? Because that was the Hartford Whalers goal horn. I think the Whalers got theirs off of like an actual like fishing boat or something like that and used it in Hartford Civic Center for all those years. And then when they moved to Carolina, the team actually went and got the goal horn from the arena and brought it to Carolina, so it would have like the same kind of thing. So yeah, there's some Hartford history there with that goal horn.
I love it. See, I just associated it with like the Hurricanes coming off the water and, the freighters out there, but it's brilliant. Now, here's the caveat to that. What is Vegas Golden Knights? Like, what are they doing? Because they have a freighter sound.
It's the same as the Colorado Avalanche. Like it's the exact same horn.
Is it really? Because
have you listened to the two like side by side? It's basically, I think it's like maybe slightly different pitch, but it's basically the exact same horn as Colorado. Listen to them back to back.
It sounded very freighter to me, which was irritating because I'm like, y'all are landlocked. Yeah. There are no boats. So stop with the boat goal horn sound. But I'll have to listen to them back to back.
I mean, what other horns do you possibly have?
Well, I will say this, I think Edmonton Oilers horn sounds like a traffic jam in a tunnel.
Yeah.
Very different sound. Very different sound.
It's from a train horn, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like car horns, like a lot of car horns. So that one I think is unique. And they hear it a lot in Edmonton. You've got Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. So, I'm sure they're very familiar with it. But those are the ones that sort of jumped out to me as being unique. So give me your favorite. What's your favorite goal horn and why?
Let's talk about that in a second. Let's do our favorite goal horns and our goal songs. And let's do
Okay.
that in a second. First, though, let's talk about today's sponsor, Bet Online. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all of your betting needs and sports info. Whenever you hear a goal horn, that means somebody probably just scored. And Bet Online all throughout this year had bets on who would score the first goal in NHL games. So yeah, they've heard their fair share of goal horns. Now that the hockey season's over, of course, they still have everything you need to know for MLB, boxing, UFC, golf, MLS, WNBA, pretty much any sport you can think of. Bet Online has you covered with all the sports scores, podcasts, and news this season, and all of your sports wagering information like live betting, esports, and scores. So head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. Bet Online, where the game starts. All right, Ann, top goal horns for me.
Okay.
So again, I'm looking at like history, like I said, for the Preds. Obviously, the Preds are number one.
Of course.
God, let's see here. I am a little partial to the San Jose Sharks.
Yes.
To be honest, because you have the like the boat horn.
Yes,
which
love
is
it.
like perfect for the Sharks. You know, it's like very like firm, like it comes across great in the arena, comes across great on TV. So it's like definitely understand that sound when the Sharks score. It goes with Get Ready for This, which is like a classic song. Like they stick with the same goal song for a while. So I feel like that's up there.
I like that one. I will say this. I feel like they mix that well because, you know, like Freighter and, you know, dance music, electronic dance music are two very different things. But I will say that San Jose knows how to celebrate a goal. I would agree with you.
As an objective, I'm going to get some hate for this.
Bring it.
From an entertainment value, is the Blackhawks good? Like objectively? Like, I mean, they're the first NHL team to ever have a goal horn. And it's kind of been the same. They use different horns, but it's been that same style really on and off since they've consistently had one. Chelsea Dagger, obviously every fan in the NHL knows that song. Every player knows that song. But it's
Are you going to sing some for us?
No. I mean, I do love the Fratellis. Love the Fratellis. But yeah, I mean, like if you're judging by that criteria, like wouldn't that have to be like ranked pretty high up there?
I would say if we're being objective, yes. Now, do we have a visceral response to watching that happen?
Yeah.
Also, yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Do.
There it is. I was hoping you would sing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is fun. I will say that. It is.
If you're a Blackhawks fan, it's fun. Yes.
Yeah. That is a good one. That is a good one. How about, here's one of the ones that surprised me how much I loved it, is the Ottawa Senators. Like they have a, you know, it's a pretty standard goal horn, but then they go into Blur Song 2 and it is like that angry, I always tease my kids and called it angry sex music. This is not, you know, it's not inappropriate, but they do that like angry woohoo. And I think there is something about woohooing after a goal at a hockey game that just creates magic. So for me, I love the Ottawa Senators. Now, they didn't hear it a ton this season. You know, they were second to the last in the Atlantic Division. So that was a little bit sad, but I like that one. Like, I like the combination. I feel like it's a good celebratory build energy woohoo package.
This reminds me of Thomas Vokoun when fans used to go Vokoun whenever he would make like a big save.
Yes.
It was like the classic thing in Nashville. Also, learning Anne likes angry sex music, so
Okay,
there's
no, I
the other
don't.
takeaway.
No, I discouraged it. I would tell my kids, stop listening to angry sex music.
I
And
don't.
yeah. You know the kind of music of which I speak.
Apparently, it's Song 2 by Blur.
I'm not saying that song is necessarily about that particular topic, but it's just kind of got that like rage, a little bit of a like rage energy to it. So I like that. I like the angry edge to it. And then you get to blow off some steam with a couple well-placed woohoos.
There we go. Yeah. I have no transition for that. All right. Least favorite goal horns and songs, Anne. What's one that in your book sucks?
I hate to say this, but the New York Rangers.
I disagree with that.
Really?
Yeah.
It sounds a little bit like a masculine kazoo to me. Like it's got a little too much like nasal something to it. So for me, not a fan. Now, it brings them good luck. They were great, in the playoffs at home while they were in the playoffs. So they heard it frequently, but it to me is just the tone is too kazooish.
I think that it was either from like a New York fire engine or like a New York like rail, like a subway car.
Oh, okay.
Or like a train from it was something like that. That was like the original thing. They've had a recording since 1995. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean maybe an actual horn would kind of make some of the luster. I don't know. I kind of like the Rangers one.
Do you really?
Yeah. Here's one that I absolutely do not like.
Oh.
And that is what is going on with the Winnipeg Jets.
Really?
Yeah, it's just like first off, you can barely hear it
I
on
love
TV
that
when
one.
it happens. Oh, I don't know. It's just like, so quiet and so like whispery. It sounds like it should be like a high end like college team's horn or something like that. It's just kind of weak. It's like the then like just like a long drawn out note. Not as bad as Montreal. Not as bad as Montreal, which we like alluded to off the top. Just like the 15 seconds of like they should use part of this, and some NHL teams should use this podcast as
I think so. Goal horn. Yeah. And let's face it, like Rem Pitlick deserves better than that in Montreal. So I would agree with you. Montreal's is not great. Now, I found the Winnipeg Jets extremely pleasing because some of them are too loud and man, some of them are too long. Like y'all know when you're done. Yeah. Know when you're done.
There's also like, to me, and I also take some points away because there's like 5 or 6 that all basically sound exactly the same. Like Tampa Bay's sounds like Toronto's, which sounds like Boston's, and St. Louis is kind of like that same like tone. It's just it sounds like at this point like very generic.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish I like the Seattle Kraken coming in with like something a little bit new, like, kind of like a freighter horn from their area and, a little bit of a shorter blast. Yeah. Like a little bit something different.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the cannon?
I actually love the cannon.
Do you really?
Yeah. I've been to a couple of Blue Jackets games because I live up here in Cincinnati. So, like there's like cannon's fun.
Okay.
The first one, I did not know they blew it off before the game. In addition to every goal, like they blast the cannon as they're coming on the ice.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
We were sitting right underneath like the part of the rafters where like the charge comes from.
Oh gosh.
Because it's like they shoot a blank, but like the explosion effect comes from like a charge in the rafters, and we were sitting right beneath that. And I don't think I've ever jumped as far in my life as I did when that went off, because I was not expecting that to happen.
They haven't scored yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, my biggest pet peeve are the places where they blast the horn for the number of goals. You know what I'm saying? Like they got 5 goals, so you have
Dallas. Nashville used to do that. They haven't so much anymore.
No, it's horrible. Like nobody needs that. Let's not do that. It's like it turns into an alarm clock, and you lose any sort of like celebratory energy that you could build with a good goal horn.
My question for teams that do that is, what happens if you like win a game like 10-0 or something like that?
Oh, yeah. Well, once you hit 4 or more goals, it just is annoying. You know, like, and you don't have that much time. Like if they're going to score 10 goals, who has the time to sit there and play 10? And what if you lose count? Like, I feel like there's so much pressure wrapped up in that. Just stop that. It's not a good look. So we are talking about goal celebrations, and we just decided, like, let's just explore the idea of what if some of Nashville's top players got to pick, and by got to pick, I mean we pick, individual goal songs. So we're going to dive into the wonderful world of Nashville Predators potential goal songs in just a minute. But first, we want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Built Bar. From the people who invented healthy and tasty comes the latest gift to you. You've probably tried the amazing coconut brownie Built Bar, and it is incredible, but they have now created a coconut brownie chunk puff treat. And I know what you're saying, but it's incredible. The coconut brownie chunk Built Bar flavor that you love is now in a chewy, delicious marshmallow flavor. It's covered in 100% real chocolate. It is a fluffy cloud of coconut brownie goodness. And again, they are good for you. They're low in calorie, low in sugar, high in protein, and totally delicious. Coconut brownie chunk puffs are only here for a limited time, so you want to go to built.com now and make sure that you don't miss out. They are going to go fast. They do taste amazing, so get them while you can. All of the Built Bars are made with collagen protein, which your body absorbs more efficiently, and it provides tons of health benefits. So you can eat something that tastes good and is good for you. You can enjoy them guilt-free. They're the perfect treat when you have a craving for something sweet, or if you just need a quick, healthy bite on the go. Built Bar are an excellent source of protein for you. So go to built.com and you can use our promo code LOCKED15 and you can get 15% off your order. That is promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com.
And let's not forget, they're named after Mark Borfietsky. So there's a couple of teams out there, Buffalo is one, Vancouver is one, that have experimented with letting players pick their own goal songs.
How do we feel about that?
I think it's interesting. Like if you're in a place like Nashville where you have like your tradition, I can see where maybe that's not like. But if it's a team where you just have a sound and then you have another sound, why not let players pick the second sound? Like it just makes sense. Like it's not like some like big long traditional thing.
Yeah.
All right.
I think the downside of it though is that I feel like you would have to get like a program of the player and their goal song, and you would be leafing through it after, say, Roman Josi scores a goal. You have to leaf through it to find his song and to know what part they're going to play. So I feel like it could get complicated.
I mean, I'm sure it's not like they have a CD player and they're like, oh, shoot, we have to skip to this part. Like, I'm sure they have like some kind of better organized thing than that.
Well, I don't think they necessarily have the CDs in a folder and they're going through it, but I'm thinking like if you are in the crowd and you see, say, for instance, Roman Yossi score, you have to go through either your mental Rolodex or go through, some sort of something to remember what's his goal song, what part are they going to play, what do we say, do we get a woohoo? Like, I feel like it could get complicated.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that. Yeah.
All right.
So I'd love to have you start. So tell me a goal song for a Nashville Predator that you think like nailed it. This is absolutely what they should play.
Ooh. Let me see. For like Ryan Johansson, I feel like he would have something like bubbly, like
Yes.
Owl City and Carly Rae Jepsen. It's always a good time. I can just see like that blasting and then and then just Ryan Johansson like skating to the bench while doing like the raise the roof with his stick, like backwards,
Yes.
just completely getting down.
Yeah, it would have to be something with that energy level, 100% for Ryan Johansson.
It's got to be adorable and bubbly, right?
Yes, I love the whole Carly Rae Jepsen vibe.
Yeah.
I feel like you're nailing it. Yep.
All right, who's another one?
Good. All right, so I'm thinking Roman Yossi obviously scores a ton of goals, even though he doesn't win a Norris for it. And so in the spirit of the Hall and Oates vibe from Toronto, which sounds like it wouldn't work, but really is magic, I went back old school and thought about Billy Joel's song Captain Jack. Do you know that song?
No.
You don't know Billy Joel's Captain Jack? Do you know Billy Joel, right?
Yeah. Hang on.
I mean, because
do I know Billy Joel?
Oh my!
There's a little Billy Joel bobblehead.
Okay, that's incredible.
Yeah, the one game I went to at the Nassau Coliseum, they had it was Billy Joel bobblehead night.
Oh my gosh, that's like the only thing better would be like Henry Winkler bobblehead night for me. Billy Joel bobblehead.
I don't know how good that bobblehead would smell, but
oh my gosh, it would smell like heaven. I am telling you right now, it would smell like heaven. But it's a really kind of it's a little bit slower-ish of a song, but the chorus has an edge to it. And the lyrics are, Captain Jack will get you high tonight and take you to your special island. Captain Jack will get you by tonight. Just a little push and you'll be smiling.
That sounds like angry sex music, Anne.
It's I swear to you, Billy Joel does not sing angry sex music. So it's a throwback. I realize that. But I really feel like with the whole Captain vibe, like that would be a good go-to for Roman Yossi. Yeah. I was going to pick something that talked about how good looking he was, but that's just, we're better than that.
I mean, I can see like, let's talk about a player based on how good looking they are. How about like if FIlip Forsberg comes back next year?
Oh,
I'm assuming you're not a huge wrestling person, Anne, based on the conversation.
Like WWE?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so like, Shawn Michaels, his theme song is called Sexy Boy. And it's like, I'm just a sexy boy. Sexy boy. Like, imagine like that comes on after FIlip Forsberg scores. And just like he's just out there with his like mustache, like thrust in, like on his way to the bench, and Sexy Boy comes on over the this show's going off the rails fast. You know that.
This is probably, I don't know if this is our best work or our worst work, but it's off the rails.
Or if we're gonna get a call from Sean Woodley tomorrow telling us we're all fired.
Yeah, that could happen too.
But no, I mean, like that's a vibe. Like that's a good vibe.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to, like, I can't remember what baseball player it was, but there's one MLB player who his walk-up song was "What a Man" by
I love that.
Like, what a man! Like how much cockiness do you gotta have? How much swagger to just walk up to the plate and basically have a song like that?
That would be a great FIlip Forsberg song. I don't know that he doesn't present that with that kind of arrogance. But I just think it'd be fun, especially if he resigns. Like Nashville would be so thankful that they would want to sing that song every time he scored next season, for sure.
Well, they'd have to bring him back first.
Oh gosh. This is why we're doing this show, people. This is why we're doing this show. So Matt Duchene, of course, have to pick a song for Matt Duchene. In my house, we have what we lovingly refer to as the Matt Duchene salute. Mm-hmm. And, that's a whole thing. It has to be country. That's just Matt Duchene's vibe. So the song that one of my favorite songs, period, and one of my favorite country songs is by the Chicks. When they were the Dixie Chicks, now they're the Chicks, but it's called Goodbye Earl. Do you know this song?
Oh yeah, know me some Goodbye Earl.
It is one of the greatest songs ever. And it's got this catchy chorus. It's about these two women who are friends, and they end up, and it's humorous, so it's not as dark as it sounds. They end up murdering the abusive husband of one of them, and they toss his body, and nobody cares. But it's got a catchy chorus, and there's also some haze in it, which I feel like yelling "hey" is definitely a component of goal celebration across the league. So for me, I would do Goodbye Earl. And it would be great if the goaltender's name was Earl. Don't think we have one in the NHL named Earl.
I feel like we're probably not going to have an Earl in any NHL team for quite some time.
Yeah.
A lot of Aidens and Jadens and Jalen's and
Earl is a little too niche for where we're at right now.
Yeah. That would have been a great NHL or a great song for like 1960s baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have an uncle Earl, so that's that kind of.
My dad's middle name is Earl, so
nice.
There we go. There's a goal song for him.
There you go.
Here's like what player on the team do you think would have like the worst choice in goal song? Like what player on the Preds?
I think Tanner Jeannot would have a great one. Yakov Trenin, I would do crisscross jump because he jumps into the glass. So I think that would be a good one. Mikael Granlund, I think, would be tricky.
I was going to say Dante Fabro.
Oh, yeah.
Because he just seems like we love Dante Fabro, but he seems like so dry sometimes that it'd be like some smooth jazz or something like that, like something contemporary.
Yes, I would. And I think Mikael Granlund falls into that too, where he's just very even-keeled player. And so you don't automatically go to like heavy metal music, or like for Matt Duchene, you go to country music. So I can see maybe Dante Fabro would do something, because we're convinced he's watched all of Stranger Things. Maybe he would do some song or music
Kate
from
Bush?
Stranger Things.
Oh, if he did Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush, he would have the #1 song on the team. Absolutely.
So maybe there's that. But it's tricky when they're just even-keeled players. It's hard to kind of pick up their vibe.
You don't really know like what's on the playlist.
Yeah, it's tricky. Yeah. It's tricky.
Do you think the goalies would have one, like just in case? Like if we have like another Pecorine moment?
I think if this is something that would ever happen, the goalies have to pick a song just in case, and it would be something like Blue Moon. Because they never score goals.
It's just a replay of Mike Keith's call of the Music City Miracle, where he just screams, "It's a miracle!
Yes,
a miracle!"
Yes. Or I would love to hear played over for Nashville, if Saros ever got a goal, the Finnish call of Pekka's goalie goal.
Yeah,
is incredible.
Just like just like have like some computer animated like editing of his name. Just throw it there.
You see Saros.
Yeah.
Just toss it there. So this has been an episode where we just really went down a rabbit trail. We would love to know what are your favorite goal songs and goal celebrations, and what are the ones that make you cringe. So let us know what you think about goal celebrations. And if you have the perfect goal song for a Nashville Predator, you must let us know.
Yeah. We want to hear, because everybody's probably going to have a very different opinion on this. So we're very curious to hear yours.
Yes.
So we're interested to hear that. That's going to do it for our show today. Anne, where can the people find you online?
You can find my work at ontheforecheck.com, and you can find me on Twitter at AnnK_Mama on Ice.
I'm Nick Moore. You can find me at ontheforecheck.com. Follow me on Twitter at _NSMorgan. While you're there, be sure to follow the podcast on Twitter at LO_Predators. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let us know what your favorite goal horn is. We'd love to hear it. That's going to do it for the Locked On Predators podcast today. Thank you, everybody, for making us your first listen of the day. We'll be back with an all-new episode. We'll see you then.